Oh, the end is nigh for legendary V8 wagons like this one, the Audi RS6 Avant, and well, it's not dead yet. The brand has just added this version here, the performance model, because clearly it needed more performance from its 4-litre twin turbocharged V8 petrol engine. I'm going to tell you what it's like in this review and tell you why it's my dream car. I bloody love this thing. Let's get to it. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. You're going to like this one. $251,000 before on-road costs, before options, and before special paint colour choices as well. And somehow, this car is still excellent value for money. That might seem ridiculous to say that because, well, it's a heap of cash and you could get something that's far less impressive for far less money. But this thing is the all-round package when it comes to offering practicality, comfort, control, and speed. And I'm going to show you all that in this review, but I want to tell you about the standard spec first. So it's the performance model. It replaces the existing standard RS6 Avant, but still comes with all of the stuff you would expect, like LED lighting at the front. Now they are matrix LED high definition lights as well as laser lights in the headlights, which are apparently able to throw twice the length of high beam than a standard light. As you can see for yourself, the lights are bloody excellent. You've also got dynamic indicators front and rear, 22-inch wheels with amazing Continental Sport contact tires. You've also got keyless entry, push button start, a huge panoramic roof rails on the inside. You get some amazing interior trim finishes, although it's hard to tell what's standard and what isn't because this car has an option pack fitted, but you do get some really good stuff as standard. The Audi virtual cockpit display. You've also got a 10.1-inch touchscreen media system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wireless as well, a wireless phone charger, heated and cooled front seats. They are RS Sports bucket seats and a 16-speaker sound system as well. So you're not left wanting for much, nor would you want to be for $250,000, but let me tell you some of the best alternatives to this. Are there any? Literally, there's nothing quite like the Audi RS6 Avant on the market. The Mercedes-AMG E63, no wagon there, and there's also the BMW M5, which will come with a touring version, but wonder if we'll see it in Australia. Hopefully we will, but I don't really think there is a perfect alternative to this unless you don't want a wagon. Then you could buy the RS7 Sportback, which uses all the good stuff from here and gives it the swoopy roofline. I don't necessarily like it as much, or if you're really sold on the SUV thing, you could buy the RS-Q8. Same sort of thing. This formula applied to a higher riding 5-seat SUV setup. So which one would you pick? Any of these, or would you just stick with the RS6, or are we all just dreaming? I know I am. It is a big old beast, this thing. You're talking almost 2 meters wide and almost 5 meters long. So it is imposing in terms of its size. I love these blistered sections above the wheel arches, so they look like they pop out even more. And obviously this one is the performance version, so it gets a few performance extras like those 22-inch wheels. Look at the size of those brakes behind there, by the way. They are, well, bigger than dinner plates, let's say. And you've also got some extras when it comes to the sound deadening. Well, the removal of sound deadening. So there's less sound deadening in the performance model than there was in the standard version. So you can hear a bit more of the twin exhaust growl. Now, I'll show you a little bit of that in a sec, but let's check out the boot space and see how practical this car is because, hey, it is very practical. It's got this really clever thing. See, it retracts that cargo blind out of the way when you open the boot, and I'll put the figure for the boot capacity on your screen now. That is easily enough for a family. I would happily have this as my family wagon. It's got some really nice things. This carpet lining on the edges and on the flooring as well. You've also got LED lights on both sides, quick release tabs for those seats if you need them. You've got that cargo net system as well. And we'll just have a look underneath the boot floor and see what we're dealing with here. Nothing. What a shame. So I've lifted up the extra cover section there. Look, you've got a can of goo, which is a tyre repair kit. So yeah, it might not be ideal. I'll just put this back down. put it back in place. One-handed is very hard to do things like that. But yeah, look, I reckon that might be an issue for some, but hey, if you own a car like this, maybe just buy a tyre shop as well. This car is spectacularly trimmed inside. You've got leather trim on the seats. These are heated and cooled RS sports seats with electric adjustment, and they're excellent. They're very, very comfortable, very supportive, and very adjustable as well. You've also got an electric adjustment set up for the steering wheel too, and memory settings for the driver's seat too. So you can set this up to your comfort level or your control level, depending on what you're after, and be sure that you are going to be comfortable and well catered for. And speaking of being well catered for, there's plenty of storage and stuff like that. Got cup holders, bottle holders, storage section here, wireless phone charger there. Maybe a little bit lacking in terms of this center console area, just very small cup holders there, but I don't think that really matters, and it wouldn't change my mind about whether this is a nice interior. And speaking of nice, you've got this leather panel that runs across the dash top here and this blue finish across here. Now, some of this is optional, and you've also got this micro suede or Alcantara finish on the steering wheel, which is excellent. It's so grippy, and if you aren't wearing gloves, say if you're just going on a Sunday drive rather than a track drive, you will find that this does still offer you some sweat wicking capability, which is gross to think about, but also really, really handy. Now, the controls are all really good. You've got the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, touchscreen system here, and it's also got the things you would expect, like sat nav as well, and connected services. So you can check the weather for the next 7 days if you don't want to do that on your phone for whatever reason. Below, you've got another touchscreen, which is for your climate control and some of the other car controls as well. You've got a drive selector down here too. And look, I don't love the fact that they aren't physical buttons, they're controls on a screen, but at least you've got a volume dial there if you want to adjust the volume. But usually I've been listening to nothing while I've been driving this car because I just want to hear the V8 engine roaring. Now, let's check out the back seat and see what it's like. Okay, this seat is set for my driving position at 182 centimeters or 6 foot. Heaps of room, heaps. I mean, it's a big wagon, so you should have heaps of room in the back. Plenty of legroom, foot room, and also headroom. And you've got the twin glass layout for the sunroof as well, which I really like. The back one doesn't open, but at least there's a separate shade if you want to have the front one open, for instance. Now, you've got a couple of really good amenities in the back. Mat pockets on the seat backs and those hard kick plates so your kids won't damage those lovely seats up front. You've also got bottle holders in the doors. There's a touchscreen here for your climate control for the rear zone, USB ports, a 12 volt directional air vents there and up in the pillars as well. So it's a very airy cabin in the back, and that's brilliant if you do have kids. And if you do, ISOFIX points in the window seats, 3 top tethers as well. As well as that, if you're a ski bunny, you've got cup holders for your hot chockey and a little storage tray there for whatever else you take to the snow. And you've also got a ski port. So this is very, very practical. It's very, very likable. It's very, very comfortable. One of the most underrated features in the Audi RS6, illuminated seatbelt buckles. So at night, they light up and they're bloody brilliant. Okay, this is the party piece, the 4-litre twin-turbo petrol V8 engine, and now it's got even more power and torque than the existing version. You'll see the figures on your screen now. They are ridiculous numbers for a petrol engine. I'm really, really impressed with this engine, and it comes as standard with an 8-speed automatic transmission, and it's got Quattro all-wheel drive, as you would expect, with the Quattro Sports differential as well for the performance model. Now, it also doesn't have a 12-volt battery under the bonnet. It's got a 48-volt mild hybrid system as well. So that means that it's designed to use a little bit less fuel and drive using the 48-volt battery system at lower speeds, below 22 k's an hour. So it's like mild hybrid technology in something that is not mild in many other ways. Now, let's go for a drive. I want to show you what this thing can do and the noise it makes too. One thing that you will have to get used to at lower speeds when you're driving the RS6 in traffic or trying to park it is the fact that it does have this kind of graunching sound. I don't know if graunching is a word, but I say graunching. It's kind of like a grindy sort of sound. I'll just do it so you might be able to hear it yourself. It's actually more like a vibration through the body of the car. So, you hear that? Well, that's just because the car has four-wheel steering, and so both sets of wheels are trying to help you steer the smallest turning circle possible, and it actually does a pretty good job of doing that. And it does also mean that the car will also do that steering, but in a different direction at higher speeds. So it'll try and make your corner radiuses turn in a little bit more. So that's kind of cool, but it is something you have to get used to. And so is the 48 volt mild hybrid system, which, well, I mean, it's excellent in the way that it operates because it cuts the engine off at about 20 k's an hour and will just use electric power to continue your progress in that situation. It's basically just designed for start-stop situations, so if you do a lot of traffic driving, you'll notice that you don't hear the engine quite as much as you might otherwise have, but it's also designed to help you save a bit of fuel, which is always welcome in a car with this much grunt. And look, I don't think it's too bad in terms of the way that it's applied in this situation. So yeah, I think for urban driving, it does make a difference. And also it doesn't suffer when it comes to brake pedal feel either, although it does have some kind of kinetic regeneration going back to the 48 volt battery pack to try and recuperate some energy. And if what you're going to mainly be doing is just driving around town or dealing with stop-start traffic on your commute, then you're going to be really impressed by the ride comforts, especially in comfort mode, because it's got adaptive air suspension, and the suspension setup here is bloody brilliant. It makes for a super comfortable ride, considering this car is on 22-inch wheels with tires that are like that wide. Look, I think that it's amazing that it's this comfortable over mixed surfaces, lumps and bumps, and also sharp edges. It does a really good job of dealing with speed humps and those sorts of things. So comfort, it nails it, and it does the day-to-day driving thing really well. It's very manageable in terms of steering responsiveness at lower speeds. As I said, you've got that four-wheel steering system to help you tighten things up in terms of quick parking moves or something like that. So there's no issues with the drivability of this car when it comes to the day-to-day stuff. And yes, the engine and transmission do a really good job in that sort of situation too. But let's go for a more spirited drive, shall we? Because that's what this car's really all about. Oh, it's a different beast. Far out. Woohoo! Oh, listen to that burble. Oh my word. That is phenomenally fast. Whoa! The way that it changes between accelerating and not accelerating when you take your foot off the throttle response is just out of this world. Oh, oh my God. This is excellent. It's not just the engine response, the transmission, but also it's the brutality of the acceleration. Oh, my word, what a machine. What an immense machine this is. Woohoo! Oh, the all-wheel drive. You are getting slingshot at the horizon. This is ridiculously quick, ridiculously grippy, and oh, the steering too, just excellent. Not much understeer to contend with either. And also the ride comfort, even in the most dynamic setting, is just exceptional. This is so good to drive fast and really good to live with on a day-to-day basis too. I think this is one of the best and most well-rounded cars that you can buy. Oof. Oh my God. Now I know that other reviewers might have driven this car on the track, and that might actually be a better place for a car like this, because you are running out of speed limit even without trying. The transmission just churns through the gears so beautifully, so purposefully. It's... Oh my goodness! No family car with this much practicality, this much family friendliness should have this kind of attitude to it. Oh, I love it! I want one so bad. Let's put it into auto, shall we? Okay, so you can hear the exhaust note gone. That's a shame. I missed that. I might just have to tailor it to be back on. But the beauty of this car, like I said, is the way that it blends the amazing, unbelievable performance that you get from this vehicle with day-to-day usability, practicality, comfort, all of that stuff. I can't think of any reason why you wouldn't buy it if you could. In terms of the drive experience, it's fucking excellent. Now, another thing I'll just call out, look, you do have that mild hybrid system, and in coasting situations, the car will also use cylinder deactivation. So it'll run on 4 cylinders rather than 8 to help you save a bit of fuel. And on that topic, let's talk about fuel consumption. Okay, so if you are buying a V8 powered monster wagon, you probably don't care that much about fuel consumption, but it's my duty to give you a bit of an idea of what you can expect at least, right? So the official combined cycle figure is on your screen now, and if that's what you achieve, you'll be very, very happy with that, I would suggest. And look, it does show that the mild hybrid system and the cylinder deactivation do work to give you what is, in theory, a pretty decent fuel consumption achievable figure. Now, in a mix of more regular sedate driving, I actually saw very close to that. 12 litres per 100 Ks was my return in the day-to-day driving, but in my more spirited drive, you'll see what I saw. So, I mean, if you're gonna be a lead foot, if you're gonna thrash it all the time, or thrash the out of it, as I like to say, then you're gonna find that this car, well, it guzzles, but so it should. It deserves a drink. Cheers to it. If you buy an Audi RS6, you don't get an ANCAP safety rating. Too bad. I don't think it really matters. This car does come comprehensively equipped with safety technology and equipment. Things like autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian and cyclist and junction detection. There's active lane keeping, emergency lane keeping, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, a reversing camera, front and rear parking sensors, and a surround view camera as well. So it doesn't really want for anything when it comes to the safety tech, in my opinion. And when it comes to airbags, there's dual front, front side, front center, full length curtain and rear side airbag protection too. So it's got plenty and it's a safe big car. Audi Australia offers a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty for its models, and there's also the choice of a 5-year prepaid service plan. You'll see the pricing for it on your screen now. Now that's 15,000 K intervals, or every 12 months, or 75,000 Ks worth of servicing. So it seems pretty good for a performance-oriented wagon like this. But if you step up to the next grade up of service cover, you'll see that on your screen now, the price for a 7-year plan. So that's 7 years warranty, 7 years of cap price servicing, and 7 years of roadside assistance as well. That's an investment in your residual value, and also potentially an investment in trouble-free ownership. Fingers crossed. Look, if you can buy an Audi RS6 and do it comfortably, you should do it, because this is one of the best cars that you can get in terms of combining sportiness, comfort, control, capability, and that amazing V8 engine. This is bloody brilliant. I love it. I wish I could have one. And if you like and subscribe, maybe one day I will be able to. So thanks for doing so. And if you haven't already, make sure you ring the bell as well to keep up to date with all of my uploads. All right. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.